Stay low.
Skaters and video makers. Today I'm talking about my favorite camera for inline skating, and that's the Insta360 X3. I'm filming this part on the Canon 5D Mark II, and I've also got this sweet little piece of equipment as well. They're better cameras if you were to talk to a cinephile, but when it comes to inline skating, they don't even come close. They take way too much setup, they're too ungainly, and they just have no place on the mean streets of Toronto. So I love this camera for a few reasons, but mainly I like it because of how easy it is to go on a flow with it. It's got a very good steady cam, and it's got the 360 technology, which means after I skate, I can point it anywhere in my vicinity, at my skates, at me, at reactions, or scenery. So it doesn't take any special skill to learn how to use this. Skating while isolating your arm is a little bit tricky, but it comes very quickly. So another huge aspect of this camera is the social aspect. And by that I mean I can just hold this here when I'm talking to somebody and get an interview, and it comes off quite naturally because I'm not holding the camera into somebody's face. They don't have to look into this all-seeing dead glass eye. So for that, it's very useful, and I wind up actually getting people on camera at times when I normally wouldn't, because there's a lack of setup too. So in this video, you're going to see me go into a doctor's office and pull this camera out and ask some questions, which I would never do. I would never take my camera out, set things up, and then talk to the doctor about what we were doing there.
I'm back in downtown Toronto and I'm skating to my health club and doctor at higher ground. It's called higher ground. I'm actually skating to lower ground. So right away you can see just how smooth this camera is. You can even tell that I'm not really paying attention to keeping it steady. I'm letting my hand move. The side to side comes out quite smooth. And this is an unusually wide shot for me. I like to include the skyscrapers and stuff, but that's as wide as I'll go because the eye likes to see things that look a little more real. So I love this forward-facing shot. I use it on a limited basis. I don't want you floating through the city aimlessly, so I prefer the camera to be pointing at the action. I love how wide this can get because if I was skating with somebody else, I can include them quite easily if they're next to me, even if it's a few meters away. I found myself a really sweet alley this whole time here, going between Bay and Yonge. And if you know Toronto, Bay and Yonge can be a little hairy to skate midday, so this is like an express route. People free. So because I'm not holding this camera out super far in front of me, I can zoom in on my feet, on my skates, and get some nice crisp shots. It does help me see things I didn't notice before as far as tendencies, inversion, eversion. Am I taking enough slant on the cracks? Am I being lazy? Am I being too busy? So I think I'm going the right way here. This is usually a two-lane road going north. It feels very dangerous going south on this road. But yeah, it's been repurposed because the other lanes are under construction. Yeah, cool story, Bill. It's a very fast stretch here. It's a medium downhill, so you can build some very good speed down the main drag of Toronto, Yonge Street. And there is higher ground. So full disclosure here, I will benefit if you join higher ground. I've cut a deal with Steve. So if you go in there and you join, tell Steve that I sent you. The first 10 will get a Stay Low t-shirt. But yes, if you live or work in this part of Toronto, this is the best gym. It's big. There's just so much equipment, and yeah, you're not fighting over it. So if you're very serious about working out, I would say this is your place. It's a very progressive health club and kick-ass gym. So that's Higher Ground Health Club at 382 Yonge Street. But yes, more than that, they've got a hockey doctor here, and that's why I'm here today primarily, to talk to a doctor about how to keep myself on the road and healthy and strong. Ooh, I thought the better of that. I knew I was going to fall backwards in a Charlie Chaplin skit. I saw the back of my head on the floor. And off to Dr. Tim. Dr. Tim is known as the hockey doc, and yeah, I need help for my hip. So you sent me over for x-rays. First of all, hi.
Hey, yeah, nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to basically look at your hip here, how well your ball is fitting the socket.
What's the most common hip injury in hockey, would you say? Or what causes the most common injury?
Yeah, I'd say probably mostly goalies, to be honest, because of the butterfly position they need to get into, and how hips don't allow that very well, some hips. So yeah, that's probably the most common, and then of course there are groin strains that are part of that repetitive use on skaters.
So with skaters, would you say stretching, rolling, or resistance training is the answer to healing overusage?
Yeah, I think prevention is the first goal, and resistance training is the way to do that. We rarely see, at high level hockey, we rarely see groin strains anymore, because the off ice element is so well done now.
Wow,
at the
that's
high
good to
levels.
hear.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah. So rollerbladers who get out there and skate 3-4 hours at a time, they're probably doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah, I think it's the thought is I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is skating lots and training for the sport that I love. But we know that you have to balance that with that repetitive action has to be balanced with some outside the game work.
Yeah.
The boring stuff.
This is Benji Boo, and I've been wanting to skate with him for years, and I finally got my chance. He's very inquisitive in all areas of inline skating, and he's a masterful wizard skater. Makes me want to wizard skate. Stay posted. I'm going to learn to land someday.
When did you start skating?
I started inline skating in May 2020. Oh, it's like 3 years now, I think. But I've honestly been skating like almost every day since then. I've been like making track of my progress, and with me it's always like purposeful practice every time I skate.
So you know what you want when you're going out?
Yeah, so when I first started it was like crossovers both ways, and I would like make that a goal. And the next day crossovers both ways backwards, and I would just check things off.
Well, you had it on a piece of paper?
Yeah, I would actually write it down, and I would log every session. I still do that. So today is like session 480 something.
So here we go with Benji Boo. I'm going to give him his own music. And I do have to really pay attention and challenge myself just following this guy. So yes, it's always nice to roll with somebody who makes me rethink skating.
Skaters and video makers, thank you so much for dropping by. Hit the subscribe and hit the bell if you want to know when I've uploaded.
Really? That was kind of curt. Stay low. I do appreciate your subscribership. I don't know what was wrong with me that day. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. What's that all about? Sorry about that. Please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Was that warm enough?